Monte Morris to Jokic in the lane, put it up. Tapped in! Nikola Jokic!
10 times Nikola Jokic used his 1,000 basketball IQ. Nikola Jokic, the league's most recent MVP and probably one of the most confusing players in today's NBA. You would never expect someone with his look to dominate in every facet of the game, and yet he does just that, with insane plays all over the place. In today's video, we are going to be going over 10 plays where Jokic decided to tap into his 1,000 basketball IQ in order to get a big bucket for his squad. This first play was so confusing for the other team and the fans in the stands watching. Somebody on Jokic's team chucked up an air ball, but thankfully he was right under the rim in order to pick up the loose ball and maintain possession. He took about one dribble with the ball in his hands, and in one motion, he quickly flipped the ball straight up the air, and another teammate rose up and dunked it down for an alley-oop. Despite barely even making eye contact with the other players, Nikola just knew that he was going to have somebody cutting to the rim as well, as knowing that no defender would see a lob coming from his position. It takes a person with a great basketball IQ in order to make plays like this happen. Next, we have a great behind-the-back pass by a man who shouldn't be passing the ball around like this, given his size and position on the floor. He missed a pretty contested layup while driving to the rim, but came down with his own board right under the basket on the baseline. He took a dribble or two out to the three-point line as if he was going to try and reset, but he caught a glimpse of a double team coming his way, given that they were running towards the missed shot. He knew that somewhere there would be a player open and remembered that a teammate also attempted to grab an offensive rebound before he got control of it. He nonchalantly threw a behind-the-back pass to a teammate who easily picked it up and put the layup in to help his team take the lead in the game. This play was unlike the other two we have shown before. Here he chose not to defeat a team with his passing ability and instead with his handles. Jokic had a screen set for him, and he was about to go one direction before faking him out with his massive brain and hitting a behind-the-back dribble move to get a ton of separation. While he maintained his dribble, another player flew in to try and strip it away, but he had already thought of that beforehand. He quickly did another behind-the-back dribble move, but this time, it was the other direction. He then charged into the lane and finished a wildly uncontested layup with 4 players of the opposing team standing there, watching in awe of the intelligence and moves that Jokic was putting out on display right there. Jokic just always finds a way to beat the other team. His basketball intelligence is simply off the charts. He just always knows where other players will line up on the floor and will be no matter what is happening on the given play. Here, he was able to snag a defensive rebound for his team, but he never controlled the ball with 2 hands. He grabbed it with one, and instead of tucking it, he turned and launched it without any thought in his mind down the floor to an open teammate, who caught it in stride. He easily dunked it for 2 points, but when watching the replay, you can see that he knew he would be down there. He barely even looked his way before the pass. This next play was just unbelievable. Jokic defended somebody here at an excellent level late in the fourth quarter. He knew the moves he was going to make and barely missed the backdoor pass to Jokic's primary matchup defensively. Jared Allen was the man who caught the pass, who gathered it and tried to go up to give his team a lead. But Jokic swatted it so hard that it looked like he just ripped it out of his hands when he went up. But he didn't just snatch block him, he ran down the court like a point guard and delivered a perfect no-look pass to somebody cutting towards the rim for easy 2 points. There aren't many people that are smart enough in the league to pull something like that off in the exact same play with tensions running high. Moving forward, we have a great pass with the shot clock winding down. You have to have high basketball IQ in order to pull off a great play with just 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Nikola did just that here. He drove into the lane for a layup to get some type of shot up before the penalty, but while he got up to attempt it, he caught another player out of the corner of his eye. Instead of rushing the current shot, he twisted to deliver a perfect pass to a teammate behind the three-point line, who caught it right in stance and knocked down the shot as the buzzer went off. Jokic used his galaxy brain to figure out every possible outcome and knew that passing would end up giving him the best shot with what they were working with on the clock. Similar to a few other players in the league, Jokic always knows when to catch an opposing team off guard. You have to be really intelligent in order to determine when is the time to make jaw-dropping plays, when the defense isn't ready for them. Here, he was handed the ball by a referee in order for him to inbound the ball with his team up by 1 point, with a minute left in the game. Instead of waiting for the ref to let him go, Jokic saw the defense being a little lazy lining up, so he launched the ball with one hand all the way down the court to a sprinting teammate who caught it in stride and laid it up for 2 points and the lead. You can't ever fall asleep against a man with a massive brain like Jokic, or he will just pick you apart no matter what you do. Picking out mismatches is also a major factor in determining player IQ. And boy, does Jokic fit that description. In this play, he was at the top of the key running a play where Jamal Murray comes around and takes a dribble handoff and works his way around him like a screen. As he was coming around him, Jokic noticed Torrey Craig boxing out Trae Young right under the rim. Jokic quickly turned his head and hit him with a great pass inside for 2 points that were practically free. Here, Jokic had to sprint out to cover his man after he allowed him to break open. Once he covered the ground, he almost fell for the pump fake. As the offensive player tried to run past him afterwards, Jokic reached in and poked the ball free, running up and grabbing it to start a fast break. He kinda lost the handle a little bit with a swarm of defenders swirling around him, but he maintained possession and actually juked a few guys out before finishing a tough contested dunk to really get the crowd going, even though it was an away game. Finally, in our last clip of Nikola using his tremendous basketball IQ, we have a beautiful steal that we don't always get to see from him. Unlike the last steal, this was out in the open space. Jokic was near the paint, defending a man out on the three-point line. He was sitting and waiting before realizing that they were about to pass it right to his matchup. He flew up the court and timed it perfectly, batting the ball down court with nobody even remotely close to him with any momentum to even try and block it. It was 2 of the easiest points that he will probably ever score in his career, and it displayed his intelligence pretty clear. You can't just pass the ball on Jokic. He is going to figure out where it's going and make you pay for it. That officially wraps up today's video on the 10 plays that Nikola Jokic used his insane basketball IQ. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe because we have more exciting content planned just like this. Also, remember to smash that bell icon so that you are always notified when we upload.